Hey everyone, welcome back. Do you have a wolf range like this that is not baking or broiling? Well, in today's video I'm going to be showing you what it likely is. So this range is a dual fuel. It's got gas on the top, electric in the bottom, and I diagnosed it as the control board. So I'm going to be replacing that today. First thing you're going to want to do is flip the breaker, unplug the range, safety first. Next thing, take the knobs out and then take those Phillips screws out. We're going to have to get behind that front panel there, so after you've got those out, you're going to want to jiggle and wiggle gently, lift up on it, and then once you have it off, you're going to want to support it. Don't just let it dangle, because you don't want to cause damage to any of those wires or circuit boards. What I do is I unplug that black cable there, and then I gently rotate it and set it down on top of the range so that way there's no pressure pulling and straining on those wire connectors. Next thing you're going to want to do is, at least what I do, is I have a right angle adapter for my screw gun. There's a couple screws you're going to have to take out here. The control board is on a metal sheet like a tray that slides in through the front, and what you're gonna have to do is slowly, gently slide it out towards you to get to that control board. I know most common household ranges, the control board's either on the back or behind the digital display. However, some of them, especially like this, some of the more commercial style ranges, it's going to be sandwiched in between. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gently wiggling it, pulling it out. I'm not trying to just yank it right out. I don't want to damage anything. I'm moving around the wires. I even have to unplug some. And this range here is about 20 years old. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture before I start unplugging all the wires and connectors and swapping out that control board. I take a picture, and then you got one screw there you got to take out, and then begins the process of unplugging all the connectors. So just be gentle. What I'm doing here is I'm just lining up the board, I'm matching it up. I want to make sure that it has all the right connectors, that just a visual inspection, I want to make sure that it is the right part and not the wrong part got sent on accident, or that I may have messed up, or somebody shipping it may have messed up. So I verified it did. Also, a little pro tip here, what I like to do to get these little like spade connectors off is I like to use a flathead and just kind of pry it up gently. Use some of that leverage. Now the new board did come with that new little wire harness there, and I'm not sure why it did. It didn't really give any explanation as to why it came with that. And from my own experience in the past, where I have replaced those, it caused an issue. So in this specific installation of this new board, I did not put that in. Like I said, on the past I have, especially on a KitchenAid. For some reason, this other range that I was working on, it came with a wire harness similar to that, and I put it in thinking, oh hey, why not, it's a new wire harness. I put it in and I had an error code, and then I had to take the whole range apart, and it was a very similar range like this where the board was in the middle. Actually, that one was more difficult because for that one you had to take much more off. So I just inspect the board, see if I see any solder joints popped or any burn marks, which I don't see anything. So, but I did my due diligence, I did my testing. Actually the other day, I'm not sure if I had it recorded or not, but the other day I was at this exact point checking voltages on the board, making sure if I had voltages going into the board, coming out of the board, and that's how I diagnosed it. Alright, so we got that new board in there, and it's in a protective anti-static bag. So the 100% right way to do this would be to have some kind of like a static discharge wristband that's grounded to the cabinet. I didn't have that in this case, What I did use was these rubber gloves to help, and I didn't have any issues. However, I did want to let you guys know. So now what I'm doing is I'm pulling up that picture. I'm making sure I'm plugging all the connectors in the right location, because on this specific board you actually could mix them up. Some boards you can, some boards you can't. I'm gonna get a drink of water real quick. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys could see that. This was a dog house. This was a dog owner. She had several dogs, and there was tons and tons of dog hair all stuck in this range. I mean, not like crazy amounts, but definitely a decent amount. I don't know how well you guys can see that on the video, but anyway, I got all the connectors plugged back into the board. So essentially what I'm doing now is the same thing in the reverse order. I'm just gently easing it back in, tucking the wires down, gently pushing it, wiggling it, trying to find the path of least resistance for this board. And I know it's a little bit intimidating, but as long as you're gentle with it, slow and steady, you don't try to force anything. I do want to stress that. Do not force it in there. You just want to slowly back and forth, in and out, until it slides in, and then it'll line up. And there's actually even like a little hook and groove in the back that it's supposed to slide into, because there's no screw in the back. There's like a little channel for it to go into. I'm just verifying, making sure I didn't leave anything unplugged, making sure everything is plugged in tight. That's why I put my hand in there. Went ahead and tucked that tech sheet back down under the board. And now I'm just kind of cleaning up a bit. So yeah, we're doing the same thing in reverse order. I'm cleaning up a little bit for this customer. You know how ranges get, they get lots of crumbs. But yeah, so with this range, this customer actually called me and she said, hey, my range isn't baking, it's not broiling, it's gas. So I get there and I'm thinking, oh, okay, it's gas. But it was not 100% gas. It was a dual fuel. Gas on top, electric in the bottom. So I was going in there with the whole state of mind. So that's just kind of a little pro tip for you guys. It's good to get info beforehand. It's great and all. You go in there thinking you know what it is. I thought it was an igniter. I'm thinking, okay, gas range, not bacon, igniter. It wasn't. I get there and I informed her. She had no idea that this was an electric, partially electric dual fuel range. She thought, oh, well, the salesman told me 20 years ago it was fully electric, so I assumed it was fully electric, or gas. I said, no, ma'am, this has a bake element. This has a broil element. Not igniters, not pilot lights. So, anyway. Yep, so we're just doing the same thing. You just want to tuck all those wires in, make sure none of them get pinched, slow and steady. Yeah, there's a little pro tip that I learned. There's a door switch that goes through that front panel, as well as a lock for the door. And you want to make sure that those line up. You can kind of see them there. I know it's a little bit quick, but I just was touching them. You're going to want to put in your Phillips screws, put the knobs back on, and that's pretty much it. You know, I am going to test it. What I like to do for the customer and for myself, CYA, as they say, and comment below if you know what that means. But I like to verify, test and verify in front of the customer so that we're both aware that it's working at the time that I fix it. So anyway, yeah, put those knobs on. You want to make sure that the door lines up properly. I just pressed that door switch. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it on a test bake. Yep, you heard that. It's good to go. Hey, thanks for watching. Give it a like, comment, subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.